Why do people crave quiet luxury? The psychology. In the most exclusive restaurants of Manhattan, a subtle shift is occurring where the wealthiest patrons now arrive wearing cashmere sweaters without logos, carrying leather bags with no visible branding, signaling their status through whispers rather than shouts. And this transformation reveals something profound about human psychology and our evolving relationship with wealth, identity, and belonging. This is the rise of quiet luxury, and understanding why it captivates the modern mind requires diving deep into the psychology of status, belonging, and what true confidence really means. The phenomenon of quiet luxury represents a dramatic reversal of consumption patterns that dominated the late 20th and early 21st centuries. For decades, conspicuous consumption ruled the luxury market, where visible logos from brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Prada served as unmistakable signals of wealth and success. Psychologists understood this behavior through the lens of signaling theory. Humans use visible markers to communicate their social status to others, much like peacocks display elaborate feathers. Yet something fundamental has shifted in recent years, and the psychology behind this shift reveals fascinating truths about human motivation and social dynamics. At its core, the craving for quiet luxury stems from a psychological concept called secure attachment tunes social identity. When individuals feel uncertain about their position in the social hierarchy, they tend to broadcast their status loudly through obvious symbols. This is why new wealth historically gravitates toward conspicuous luxury. The psychological need to prove belonging drives the purchase of items with prominent logos and flashy designs. However, as individuals become more secure in their status, whether through actual wealth accumulation or through cultivated confidence, the need for external validation diminishes dramatically. The exclusivity paradox plays a crucial role in understanding quiet luxury's appeal. Traditional luxury marketing created desire through aspiration, showing products to millions while making them available to relatively few. This created a psychological tension where luxury items became simultaneously desirable and attainable, diminishing their effectiveness as status markers. When middle-class consumers could save for a logo handbag, the ultra-wealthy needed new ways to distinguish themselves, and quiet luxury emerged as the solution. Items that require insider knowledge to recognize become more effective status symbols precisely because they exclude those without the cultural capital to decode them. Neuroscience research reveals fascinating insights into why our brains respond so powerfully to subtle quality over obvious branding. Studies using functional MRI scans show that when individuals with high social status evaluate luxury goods, different neural pathways activate compared to those with lower status. High-status individuals show increased activity in brain regions associated with intrinsic reward and personal satisfaction, while lower-status individuals show more activation in areas related to social comparison and external validation. This suggests that the craving for quiet luxury reflects a psychological shift from seeking approval to seeking genuine pleasure in quality itself. If you're fascinated by the hidden psychology behind luxury consumption and want to explore more secrets of how the wealthy think and behave, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our exclusive content. We also have an exciting giveaway happening right now on the channel, so check the link in the description below to enter and become part of the Lux Eternal community. The concept of cultural capital, developed by sociologist Pierre Bourdieu, provides essential context for understanding quiet luxury's psychological appeal. Cultural capital refers to knowledge, taste, and education that signal social class just as effectively as economic capital. Recognizing that a simple cashmere sweater costs $2,000 because of its exceptional fiber quality, and construction requires education and exposure that only certain social circles provide. This creates a psychological satisfaction that operates on multiple levels. The wearer enjoys both the physical comfort of superior materials and the knowledge that they possess insider information unavailable to outsiders. The psychology of authenticity drives much of quiet luxury's current popularity, particularly among younger wealthy consumers. Millennials and Generation Z, even those from privileged backgrounds, grew up witnessing the 2008 financial crisis and its aftermath, creating psychological associations between ostentatious wealth display and moral failure. Research in social psychology demonstrates that these formative experiences shape consumption patterns throughout life. The desire for authenticity represents a psychological need to align consumption with values, and quiet luxury allows wealthy individuals to enjoy privilege while avoiding the guilt and judgment associated with obvious extravagance. Cognitive fluency theory helps explain why simple, minimalist designs characteristic of quiet luxury feel psychologically satisfying. The human brain experiences pleasure when processing information easily, and clean designs without excessive ornamentation or branding activate this reward response. A perfectly tailored navy blazer in exceptional fabric provides visual simplicity that the brain processes as elegant and correct, while a logo-covered item requires more cognitive effort to evaluate. This explains why quiet luxury aesthetics feel inherently more sophisticated. They literally require less mental work to appreciate. The psychological concept of delayed gratification separates quiet luxury consumers from fast fashion enthusiasts. Research by psychologist Walter Mischel demonstrated that the ability to delay gratification correlates strongly with long-term success and life satisfaction. Quiet luxury embodies this principle, investing $3,000 in a single coat that will last 20 years rather than buying 20 cheaper coats over the same period. This consumption pattern provides psychological benefits beyond the physical object. It reinforces self-perception as someone with discipline, foresight, and refined judgment. Social identity theory reveals why quiet luxury creates such powerful in-group bonding among the wealthy. Humans derive significant psychological satisfaction from belonging to exclusive groups, and shared knowledge of subtle status markers strengthens these social bonds. When two individuals recognize each other's Loro Piana cashmere or Brunello Cucinelli suiting without any visible logos, they experience a moment of mutual recognition that reinforces group membership. This creates psychological rewards that obvious logos cannot provide, the pleasure of being seen and understood by those who matter while remaining invisible to those who do not. The phenomenon of psychological ownership explains why quiet luxury items generate deeper emotional attachment than trendy pieces. Research shows that the more time, effort, and knowledge invested in acquiring something, the stronger the sense of ownership and attachment. Researching fabric mills, understanding construction techniques, and developing relationships with specialty retailers all increase psychological investment in quiet luxury purchases. This deeper engagement creates more lasting satisfaction than impulse purchases of trending items. Scarcity psychology operates differently in quiet luxury compared to traditional luxury marketing. While traditional luxury creates artificial scarcity through limited editions and waiting lists, quiet luxury relies on genuine rarity of knowledge and access. The psychological impact is more powerful because the scarcity is real rather than manufactured. Finding a small Italian workshop that produces exceptional knitwear requires connections and knowledge that money alone cannot buy, satisfying the deep human need to possess something truly rare. The psychology of mastery and expertise drives many quiet luxury enthusiasts to develop encyclopedic knowledge about materials, construction, and brands. Research in positive psychology demonstrates that developing expertise in any domain provides significant life satisfaction and sense of purpose. Learning to distinguish cashmere grades, understanding the difference between fused and canvas suit construction, or recognizing quality leather all activate the same reward systems as mastering any complex skill. This transforms consumption from passive purchasing into active learning, providing psychological benefits that extend beyond the objects themselves. Self-determination theory suggests that quiet luxury satisfies three fundamental human psychological needs. The need for autonomy is met through choosing quality based on personal judgment rather than following trends. The need for competence is satisfied through developing expertise in evaluating materials and construction. The need for relatedness is fulfilled through connecting with others who share these values and knowledge. This comprehensive satisfaction of core psychological needs explains why quiet luxury creates such devoted adherence. The concept of psychological distance helps explain why quiet luxury appeals particularly to the ultra-wealthy. Research shows that psychological distance, whether temporal, social, or hypothetical, leads to more abstract thinking and focus on core values. The very wealthy experience greater psychological distance from financial concerns, allowing them to focus on abstract qualities like craftsmanship, heritage, and authenticity, rather than concrete signals like price tags and logos. This cognitive shift naturally leads toward minimalist aesthetics that emphasize intrinsic rather than extrinsic value. Social comparison theory reveals why quiet luxury reduces the psychological stress of wealth display. Constant comparison with others creates anxiety and dissatisfaction, and conspicuous consumption invites these comparisons continuously. Quiet luxury allows wealthy individuals to opt out of this exhausting competition by choosing a different measuring system entirely. When status is measured through knowledge and taste, rather than visible spending, the psychological burden of constant competitive display diminishes dramatically. The psychology of sustainable consumption increasingly influences quiet luxury preferences, particularly among environmentally conscious wealthy consumers. Research in environmental psychology shows that guilt associated with overconsumption can significantly reduce purchase satisfaction. Quiet luxury's emphasis on durable, timeless pieces that last decades rather than seasons provides psychological relief from this guilt. Owning fewer items of exceptional quality allows individuals to maintain luxurious lifestyles while aligning with values around sustainability and responsibility. Impression management theory explains how quiet luxury serves sophisticated social navigation. Different social contexts require different self-presentations, and obvious luxury signals can create problems in certain environments. In academic, creative, or socially conscious circles, appearing too wealthy can generate suspicion or resentment. Quiet luxury allows individuals to code switch effectively, signaling wealth to those who recognize the markers while appearing relatively modest to those who do not. This flexibility provides significant psychological comfort in an increasingly complex social landscape. The concept of optimal distinction describes the psychological sweet spot that quiet luxury occupies perfectly. Research shows that humans desire to be both similar enough to their peer group to belong and different enough to maintain individuality. Quiet luxury achieves this balance by adhering to established codes of quality and taste while allowing personal expression through subtle choices in color, cut, and styling. This satisfies the dual psychological needs for conformity and uniqueness simultaneously. Hedonic adaptation, the psychological tendency to return to baseline happiness despite positive changes, affects luxury consumption powerfully. The excitement of acquiring logo items fades quickly as they become familiar and as others acquire similar pieces. However, quiet luxury items often provide sustained satisfaction because their quality reveals itself gradually through use. The way exceptional cashmere becomes softer with wear, how fine leather develops beautiful patina, how perfect tailoring moves with the body, all create ongoing positive experiences that resist hedonic adaptation. The psychology of legacy and continuity drives quiet luxury's emphasis on timeless design and durability. Research on intergenerational wealth transfer shows that wealthy families increasingly value items that can be passed down, creating psychological connections across generations. A Hermes bag or Rolex watch that can be inherited provides satisfaction beyond personal use, connecting the purchaser to both past and future family members. This temporal expansion of identity satisfies deep psychological needs for meaning and continuity. Understanding why people crave quiet luxury ultimately reveals that it satisfies psychological needs far more complex than simple status display. It provides security for those uncertain of their position, insider knowledge for those who crave belonging, authentic expression for those seeking to align values with consumption, and lasting satisfaction for those tired of hedonic treadmills. The shift toward quiet luxury represents not just a fashion trend, but a fundamental evolution in how sophisticated consumers relate to objects, status, and identity itself. It reflects growing psychological maturity in the luxury market, where confidence replaces insecurity, knowledge replaces signaling, and genuine quality replaces empty display, revealing that the most profound luxury of all may simply be freedom from the need to prove anything to anyone.